Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you to coverage of the Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Stock E-Tour. It is round number 4, and tonight is the Hampton Havoc. Welcome to our coverage on Elevated TV as well as on the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Ryan Tomford. Cody Deemers is off on assignment tonight. We have Mr. Tracy Brown from the Leadfoot Racing League handling the production for RDR as well. The field is getting gridded, and we are about to go racing here tonight at the Langley Speedway. Before we give the lineup very quickly, Ryan, Langley Speedway is just a fun track. I love going out here when I can to the Tidewater region of Hampton, Virginia. Bill Mullis, Chuck Hall, all the great people at this place have an amazing facility, and it is so cool that it's already on the iRacing platform, and it makes iRacing history. We're ready to see what RDR does tonight.
It's Langley's a great track. It's one of the flattest tracks out there. It's very flat. I believe it only has 6 degrees of banking, so very, very flat, and it's going to be a very interesting race as we've got 125 laps on hand tonight.
That's exactly right, and we're so glad that you're joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Without a further ado, we're going to give you the starting lineup. We are working on some overlays and some things in the background. Producer Tracy is, so I'm just going to wing it from my timing and scoring, but it will go a little something like this. Jacob York will be on the pole in car number 25 for being the fast qualifier. Andon Mendenhall will start second on the front row. Row 2 will find Ross Boo Boo Dalton and Mason Walters. Row 3 will look at Jordan Brinkley. By the way, that's Blaze Brinkley in the number 11. He will start 5th, and then it's Peanut Baker. And there is the lineup right there. So there's your top 6. We move on to row number 4. Aaron Stoltz and Aiden Millette, the 0, 2, and the 9. Your top 10, Ryan, will find Austin Purnell and Bryson Brinkley in the 24.
Yeah, and the 11th is Jordan Blair, and Cliff Mullins sits alongside him. Austin Taylor sits there in 13th. Enoch McNeil sits in 14th. Speedy Bird and Ethan Johnson sits in row 8. Bradley Wolford and Billy Green sit in row 9. And that is your grid for the RDR at Langley Speedway.
There's your lineup. Preliminary laps are on the way as we'll get ready to turn them loose here. These drivers will be going 125 laps, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let you know that there will be one set of tires in addition to the set of tires that they started the race on qualifying for. Caution laps do count. There will be a competition caution thrown on lap number 68. And that will pay homage and memory to driver, competitor, and a friend of mine, Robbie Brewer, who passed away last night at Bowman Gray Stadium. The racing community is hurting right now. We are mindful. We are thinking about the Brewer family, his girlfriend, the loved ones, and anybody he touched in the racing community. But I do know I can say this with a smile on my face and with a smile on Brewer's face, who was always full of laughter and charm and loved life, that he would want the race to go on. Jacob York and Mendenhall will make up the front row as these drivers will prepare to go for 125 laps. Virtual man and machine ready to go at Langley Speedway. We're so glad you're joining us late night at the Elevated TV CRN networks. We're ready to go with coverage of iRacing as that pace car gets ready to drop onto pit lane. Here comes the field, ready to come to a 1 to go indication. They're going to make one more lap as 19 cars. How about that for a car count? Ready to go for this one here, Ryan.
A massive car count tonight. And, I'm excited for tonight's race. Last week's winner and pole man, York is sitting there again on pole position, so he's hoping to repeat again here in tonight's race.
What a wild race we had last week, obviously, at Hickory. Ready now to see what goes on here now as the pace car is still on the racetrack. There must be something going on with lineup, and they're working on that. So making sure we get everybody into position, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful field of cars for the Ross Dalton Racing Iracing E-Tour late models, just like what you saw earlier tonight with the Leadfoot Racing League, won by Stephen Luttrell. Except they were at Sobo on the western side of Virginia. We are now on the eastern side of Virginia, and it is time. Pace car onto the pit lane. We're ready. Hampton Havoc is green. You have a virtual race. Mendenhall up on the outside. Here comes York right there. Silver Bullet number 25. Stride for stride below the apron. Put lap one on the board. And Mendenhall and York battle into the corner, Ryan. We're underway.
Yeah, we're underway as these two leaders have been side by side for this first lap. And, it doesn't seem like Mendenhall can clear York, as now York has now cleared himself into the lead as the 50 of Dalton gets there in second.
Triple B Racing just chiming in on the chat, and he says 19 cars plus Langley equals 14 cautions. I hope that's not the case tonight.
But we don't see that many cautions. Last week, at Hickory, it was a great race as we see a battle here for the lead as Ross Dalton goes and battles against York. But last week, it was a quite calm race. The first two races in the series were utter chaos, and last week it calmed down a little bit. So hopefully we tonight's race is continues the trend of calm races.
Dalton will send it in there, and the 50 star from Liberty, North Carolina, he will go to the lead. Right now, everybody just calm, cool, collective, working around the racetrack. Look at this now, Mullins' car. Oh, there's contact. Oh, and he got him corrected. What a save! He bumped him, gave him a little assist to get back going again. That's Cliff Mullins and Enoch McNeil. There's a teammate right there, or at least a competitor giving you some help after getting into you.
Yeah, a heck of a save in 3 and 4 there.
About to say Triple B, there's your first caution. That's hashtag fake news, though. That's Mullins and Austin Taylor, by the way. I got our producer chuckling in the background of Tracy on that one. He was dead at work and he stops laughing. So anytime I drop a Trump quote, I think people either get funny or the liberals get mad. So I don't know. Dalton in the lead. Jacob York, Mendenhall, Brinkley, Millette right now. Top 5. That's the way they stand. And Ross Boo Boo Dalton looking for his second win of the year. How about that as well, Ryan? We've had all different winners in the series this year so far for the RDR Late Model Stock Tour.
Yeah, it was Ross in round 1, and then Mendenhall in round 2, and York in round 3. So, maybe we'll see our first repeat winner of tonight, as all 3 guys that have won so far in the series are your top 3 drivers right now.
It's been rather interesting so far, again, as we just continue to put laps together. And we're glad that you're joining us tonight. Round number 4, as we mentioned here at Langley Speedway. Next week, how about this? Can you say ironic? Isn't it ironic, don't you think, Tracy Brown? Next week, championship, Leadfoot Racing League, Myrtle Beach Speedway. Later on that night, round 5, Myrtle Beach Speedway, Ross Dalton Racing. Brian, it's going to be really cool. We're going to Myrtle Beach. It's going to be a Grand Strand virtual Sunday night next Sunday for joining us.
Hey, it'll be Myrtle Beach all weekend long, man, for Elevated TV, for sure. Can't wait to see it.
It's kind of funny. As I say Myrtle Beach Speedway, I'm looking at the piece of the pavement of what used to be at Myrtle Beach Speedway hanging up in my office.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's there now. Isn't it a housing development or something?
So here's the deal. Believe it or not, they got all excited because it was supposed to become a very big land deal of building more businesses and houses. A subdivision was going to go in there, and then there was going to be more commercial property businesses as well. And then they got excited, closed the track down, right? as we got a car getting really loose. The 16 and the 6 going at it there for a minute. That's Jordan Blair and I believe Bird. Wow, hold on there. Boy, that got a little intense. But back to the mission at hand, as I was talking about between those guys. That's Speedy Bird, by the way. I think he's he's a lap down, or on the tail end of the lead lap, and he's battling there with the other car of Jordan Blair. But nonetheless, back to my topic, Tracy and Ryan, the track was supposedly done side paper, whatever. They have their last race. I worked that event, actually. And then they closed it down. And then 2 weeks later, the contract falls through. The day after the race, they start tearing down the grandstands. They tear down the press box. They tear down the flag stand. They take everything apart the day after the race. And then 2 weeks later, the contract becomes null and void. They had already started ripping the track apart. If they would have just been patient by about maybe a month, Tracy, Myrtle Beach Speedway might still be standing on its foundation.
Man, that is terrible. Wesley, I could have gone all night long without you telling me that. That is heartbreaking because just on iRacing alone, that is just such an iconic track, as we have a caution on track.
We got a yellow flag out on the racetrack. This will be our first caution of the race. Looks like Jordan Brinkley's got a problem. Jordan Brinkley has crashed. He will draw our first blue line soft wash caution. There it is, the number 11. By the way, don't forget to check out the Brinkley family, Ace Speedway and Caraway Speedway, whenever they can. Bryson Brinkley have an amazing season, looking to try to lock up a championship this year. And we're closing in on 100 laps to go. So, all right. So Mason Walters might have got into it with. I'm sorry, my track event, my SDK was saying that it was Jordan Brinkley, and so maybe Mason Walters might have got a piece of it. So we need to look for the 11 car. The 11 or... Yeah, I'm kind of... the 11 or 500 is what it's looking like. The 11 or the 500. So, trying to find the replay here, so... Ryan, but that's a heartbreak about Myrtle Beach, you know? I don't know if you ever knew that or not, but that's what happened, man.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's definitely heartbreaking to hear.
Yeah. All right, we might have found a replay. Yep, there it is. Right there. You're seeing the end of it, the tail end of it. Yep. There's the... Yeah. You see him, you saw him pointing in the wrong direction. Oh, well, let's go back live. We're getting ready for a restart. I can hear the field doubling up. We're getting ready to go back for green here, by the way. Caution laps do count. As yellow flag coming out here. The field behind the pace car with Dalton and Mendenhall on the front row. Closing in on 98 laps to go when they come back to the restart box. CRN restart zone. FWM, green flag flies. Blue line soft wash. Caution 1 of 14 for Triple B Racing. Over, under, we'll find out. We're back underway. And you know the old cliche, Ryan, sometimes cautions breed cautions. We're going to hopefully prefer the latter.
Hopefully they get, well...
Nope, I spoke too soon. We got a big one in turn 4. Oh, we got a stack up. It is a big wreck in turn 4. You just caught a glimpse of it from the back of the, from the front straightaway shot coming off turn 4. And here it is. Tracy Brown, Enoch McNeil. He got it perfect. And there is the calamity. Enoch McNeil, the 51 up on the hill, and others. Stoltz, Purnell, all a part of that caution right there. Austin Taylor involved. Another caution, another multi-car accident as well.
Looked like
boy, oh boy. Triple B Racing, he says is over on. He says 19 cars, Langley, 14 cautions, but right now you're at 2. I'm gonna bet against you, Triple B. I'm gonna hope that we stay, under tonight. I'm gonna go against you and say we're under tonight. I am. Maybe it'll be an under. What do you think, Ryan? You think we'll have another amount of cautions or whatever?
I don't think this is going to be the last caution. I do think we're going to see a few more tonight, but definitely not 14.
Not 14 cautions.
Well, I hope not.
That's how I feel about it. All right, caution out. Second one of the race. By the way, just remember, next Sunday night, Leadfoot Racing League and Ross Dalton racing at Myrtle Beach. That'll be pretty cool. So, 32 of the 125 laps. What you got, Tracy Brown? Oh, so I'm kind of like talking to myself again. Yeah. Okay, I will do that. Pace cars in. Back on our way, lap number 32 of 125. Remember, competition caution, whatever is going on in the race. Lap 68 as we pay homage in memories to the family, friends, drivers, racing community that knew Robbie Brewer. Lap 68. And mind you, Aiden Millette now down on the inside, bumping, banging battles there with the 6. That's Jordan Blair. We saw him earlier tonight in some pretty intensive racing right now here, Ryan, as we go back to one single file. 3 wide almost.
Yeah, it seems like up in front they've gone single file, but in the background they're getting quite aggressive, going 2-3 wide. So definitely a bunch of chaos here in the back few rows. As we got a spinner in 2.
Got a car going around. It will draw a caution. Trying to go back to look for it. Is it Speedy Bird or Ethan Johnson? Here it is. Austin Purnell, maybe. Oh, wow. Oh, well, he was a secondary caution. Those two guys got together because there were already cars that were spun. All right. Well, how many cautions is that now? Is that 3 or 4? I've lost count already.
This is caution number 3.
All right. Keep up with our caution count, if you will, Ryan. There you go.
That was going to be my job tonight.
We have the 50 star from Liberty, Ross Boo Boo Dalton. He leads the way right now. Andon Mendenhall is in second. Jacob York is third. Aiden Millette, Jordan Blair, top 5. Peanut Baker, Billy Green, Bryson Brinkley, Austin Taylor, Cliff Mullins right now. As it stands, lights about to go off on the pace car. And when they do, they will get doubled up side by side here. Already lap number 40 of 125. Ryan, it does make the race go by quicker with controlled cautions, and then obviously caution laps counting too.
Yeah, with the caution laps counting, it does, speed up the race. I don't know. We might have been on lap in the early 30s if we didn't count all of these caution laps. So I'm glad that for how late it is that all of these laps are counting.
It really does, man. Makes it right now, make it entertaining. It is a good one so far. Tracy, Tracy, check your messenger, buddy. As we will get ready to go back for green. Doubled up for the restart. 40 of 125. Back to the restart zone. CRN restart zone. Green flag flies. We are back underway. Let's see what happens now between Ross Dalton and in Mendenhall. I'll tell you what, throw York in the battle. I think it's only cool that we're seeing the top 3 winners of the year battling right now in the top 3 for those spots, Ryan, as they go back into turn 1 and 2.
These top 3 drivers this year have been probably the most consistent drivers that have, stayed up front in these races, and throughout cautions and wrecks, they've always found their way to the front. So, these 3 at the end of the season, I think it's probably going to go down to the wire between these 3 cars as we got another caution out.
Here's a replay. Watch this. We're trying to figure out what happened. Jordan Brinkley is what they're saying was the cause of the caution. We'll see if it's a fact. And it is a fact. And there's a whole bunch of other cars going around as well. Let's give them something to talk about. Oh, man. It was more than just Jordan Brinkley. Wow. That happened quickly in the background. Lap 45 of 125 as we're under the yellow flag. But I'll tell you what, they had the, not only did they have the race last week at Hickory, we had a throwback race also, and really cool paint schemes on a lot of race cars last Sunday night, Ryan, for the Ross Dalton Racing Series.
It's cool to see, some throwback schemes that people were, driving, and I had the actual Hickory race up on screen, and just seeing, a bunch of throwback cars was, really cool to have, throwback night happening here in the Ross Dalton League.
If you remember last Sunday night, we were live with Leadfoot Racing, and actually we didn't broadcast Leadfoot. We broadcasted the Ross Dalton Racing because of the Cars Tour Throwback Classic, and they still made the decision to do the race, and I was kind of giving you a call of the iRacing broadcast for RDR, but also a little information radio style of the Cars Tour race, and very interesting finish for sure, as young, receiving, deserving driver Vinny Tyrell picking up $50,000, biggest win of his career, from Manassas, Virginia, winning that Cars Tour event. And then obviously what a battle there between York and Dalton, and York did pick up the win. 3 winners, 3 races back underway. Top 3 in the top 3 winners of the season as we go back to green, heading to lap number 50 and 75 to go. Side by side, Dalton inside, Mendenhall outside, or will he? Boy, he made a move, went for a crossover, went from the top to the bottom, got right under the back of the car of the leader's fuel cell of Dalton, and then he backed away there, Ryan, and looks like he's going to have to reset and try again here.
That crossover move, it almost ended in disaster, as he bumped Dalton's back of rear bumper there. So good thing that both of them were able to keep it straight off of 2 and keep on battling here as we're working over 50 laps completed.
Boy, that got a little intense there for a second. As they work their way now, there's Ethan Johnson way up on the high side. Good solid run going on for that driver. You see Dalton leading the way. Ross Boo Boo Dalton in that top spot. And Mendenhall looking inside, looking outside. Here comes the move to the bottom. There is some contact in the left rear. Mendenhall's car shot up the racetrack is Dalton. He sets him up here. That's a great battle going on for the lead, and it is stopped by a caution. It is stopped by another blue line soft wash caution flag. It waves. I'm not sure what happened. Caution is out.
I mean, the only thing I could see was McNeil, I believe, dropped a few positions there.
Oh, there it is. That explains it. Enoch McNeil driving in the grass. Oh, boy. McNeil's car again and some other cars getting together down on the back straightaway, the grass. And that's what you got to love about Langley, right, Ryan? I mean, yeah, there's the outside retaining wall, but there's hardly an inside wall. And there's grass there. So if you do make a little mistake or a hiccup, or if you do get bumped or hit, you might have a chance to be able to continue and save it because there is that grass on the bottom of the apron, if you will, on the back stretch and whatnot.
We've seen, multiple wrecks tonight. We're up to, I believe, 5 cautions now, 5-6 cautions. And all of these, it seems like they just run through the grass and, are able to continue going and continue racing, and then they'll get into another wreck and be on the grass. But, that's the nice thing about Langley is there's no concrete wall or no wall at all on that back straightaway where you can crash out at.
Ready for the field to come back to green. Don't forget, competition caution, lap 68. To pay memory to Robbie Brewer, another racer. Back underway. Trying to go 3 wide, as looks like it was the 25 on the inside, Jacob York. Instead, Mendenhall battles with Dalton. Dalton locked to the inside as well. Now we're side by side. He'll throw it in there to the left rear, or the right rear, and the left front. 15, almost into the 50. And somehow they hold it together. Look at now, York. Wow, this is some great racing. Probably the best one we saw in the restart here, Ryan, as they dive it off into 1 and 2 again.
Yeah, it's a great racing up front. It looked like Mendenhall was trying to clear himself there, and he just didn't, clear himself completely, and just ran into Dalton there for a little contact, but caution's out on the track.
We have another yellow flag out over the Speedway. Boy, Enoch McNeil is having a bad night tonight, ain't he? Wow. In the Brinkley car. Yeah, it's Bryson Brinkley. Or Blake. Yeah, Bryson Brinkley. Look at that. Bryson Brinkley, Enoch McNeil getting together. Now, I did say that there's a lot of runoff of grass, but there are some spots where there is Ute tires and the metal retaining barrier walls as well. So sometimes they can play havoc. Cars on pit road, the 29, Billy Green giving up a top 5 spot. He'll come to the pit lane. And he goes right back out again. Shake my tires. You're good. Keep on going.
I mean, Billy Green has been having himself a Now he's falling a few spots, but he was having himself a good night here as he was running up in 5th, up 13 spots, but now he's falling back.
Man, Billy Green way off the pace now. I guess he's got to go to the rear because he did come down pit road and give up a spot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm understanding that this will be our moment of remembrance. We now put up on the screen driver, friend, competitor, racer, known to all, Mr. Robbie Brewer. This is going to be our competition caution for Robbie Brewer, is what I'm being told, Tracy, so we can put the graphic up. Robbie Brewer passed away this past Saturday night, last night, as a matter of fact, at Bowman Gray Stadium. I want to emphasize to everybody that it wasn't, he suffered a medical emergency while he was in his race car. On lap 16 of a race in the top 5 in 4th position on a restart, they are saying that he suffered a massive heart attack, which then caused his car to lose control. He hit the wall head on with the throttle hanging. NASCAR and rescue officials quickly extricated him from the car with jaws of life. He was then taken to the hospital by ambulance at Baptist Hospital. He was pronounced dead on arrival. Again, massive heart attack, died inside a race car. It is the 5th fatality of a driver losing their life in some shape or form at Bowman Gray Stadium. And what is heartbreaking to me is I found out this afternoon that him and his girlfriend were actually engaged to be married on August the 25th. They just went earlier this week to get their wedding license. Bowman Gray Stadium makes the following statement. We are saddened by the passing of driver Robbie Brewer after he was transported to an area medical facility following an on-track medical incident during last night's events. Robbie was a talented and passionate racer and highly respected competitor among his peers. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robbie's family and friends at this time. I had the privilege to call many races in the modified world, in the sportsman world, whether it be at Ace Speedway, Caraway, Orange County. Always had a great smile, great personality. We will pause for a minute and remember the life of Robbie Brewer before we come back for a restart. Godspeed to the 68-48 of racing. All right, we're coming back to green. Let me know where we're coming back. Tracy. That roaring crescendo, virtual or reality, is what obviously Mr. Robbie Brewer or any racer competitor would want to have happen as we go back underway. I want to say this. Some people were calling out Bowman Gray or racing, saying that it's dangerous. Well, first off, anybody that works in the industry knows that it's a dangerous sport, but I want to give you a little tidbit of information. You're more likely to die driving on your car down the highway than you are in a race car. And I want to also say that he had a medical condition. Something happened inside the race car. Having a massive heart attack is what caused him to crash. It wasn't being in a race car making him crash. So for the negativists or the people that want to try to throw fuel on the fire to bash the sport, take it and stick it up your where. I just want to be honest. Everybody, Ryan, Tracy, that gets in the sport, gets in their cars, buckles up in these cars, they know the risks. They know the risks. Ross Dalton knows the risks. The Blaze Brinkley, Bryson Brinkley's, and Mason Walters, E.N. McNeil's, guys you're seeing on iRacing right now that race in real life. They know the risk. They know that anything can happen. Hell, you can walk out your front door, fall and bust your head, fall off the steps, and you're done. We don't know what the hourglass is on life. So for people to say that it's because of the sport, it frustrates me. And it is because, Ryan, that I have a passion for it and I work in it. And it just, you take something already sad and people want to make it more negative. Robbie Brewer loved racing. Bottom line. Dale Earnhardt Sr. loved racing. If he died, I remember him telling Ken Squire in an interview back in the 80s that I watched as a kid growing up and just following the sport. Dale Earnhardt Sr. said, point blank, Dale Sr. said, if I wanted to do, I don't want to do anything else in life. So if I die in a race car, I die in a race car. It's tragedy, but it's romantic. Yeah, and poetic. It's true. It's tragedy, it's poetic, and it's romantic. You're exactly right. We'll get ready for a restart, ladies and gentlemen, as there is under 50 laps to go, 46 remaining. And Ryan, I'll be honest with you, I'm undecided who's going to win this race now because that pit stop changed everything, and you've got some new guys up here at the front.
We have some new contenders up front, and something that I did see on that pit stop was York jumped Dolan on that pit stop, so Dolan's even farther back in the field.
Back underway. By the way, this is lap 80 at the line. 45 remaining now. Look at Ada Millette. There's another RDR car up on the high side. Ada Millette, a name that also races in real life. Racing. Now, Mason Walters. Remember, Mason had problems earlier. He's in the 16 car. Timing and scoring shows him as 500. But look at that PPG entry.
Yeah, a lot of
the inside. Whoa, I'm below the apron. I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
I mean, a lot of these. He's not done there as he's giving in the bumper. It's McNeil. Tax Walters.
It's bound to happen. Oh, I just could see that. I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to cut you off. Well, I could just sense that there was a storm brewing between those cars. And Mason Walters, Enoch McNeil. How many cautions has Enoch McNeil been involved in tonight? Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna chime in and say, Enoch McNeil, right before they wrecked was, he's been involved in at least 3 incidents before tonight, so he's definitely causing a bunch of chaos out here with wrecks.
Hey, Tracy, we saw it. I mean, we saw it. We saw the caution. We're not disputing anything. Blaze Brinkley, Jordan Brinkley on pit road. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to start over. No, you're live, I hope. Oh, you mean you're not talking? You're not talking on the air? Is what you? Okay.
No,
I got you.
No, I am now, but I didn't want to be live this late at night. So, anyway, I was explaining to Wesley there that according to my live timing, I didn't see a caution thrown out for the incident. So, the only way to get back to it would be to rewind several laps. So, anyway, sorry about it.
But I was telling him that we saw the accident happen in real time. You could see it. I mean, you could see it really. The storm was brewing, and Ryan, Enoch McNeil just having I don't want to say he's having a bad night, but he is having a bad night. 39 to go, and I think the majority of maybe 5 cautions so far has involved Enoch McNeil in it in some shape.
Yeah, I mean, he's been involved in a lot of these wrecks. Not all of them have been his fault. He's just been a innocent party in a lot of these wrecks. But still, cautions are. It looks like finding him tonight, as we're on caution, I believe 8.
Oh boy. What did Triple B? Triple B Racing said he wanted 14. I hope not.
14.
We're in 8 though. Halfway there, +1. Back underway. Here at Langley, Ross Dalton Racing. Late model stock tour next week, Myrtle Beach. LFRL championship finale at Myrtle Beach as well. And look at the spinal down to the inside. Billy Green pushing, shoving, and a caution out again as that was amazing racing in the top 5 up for the leaders. Yellow flag out on lap number 90 when they come to the stripe. And I believe it's Austin Taylor this time that's crashed in 51. The orange and black 51 of Austin Taylor. He's in 15th now. Gonna be living in not fast forward, but living in rewind. All right, keep on going. There you go. Wow. Okay. There you go. Okay, we're 3 wide. Look at that. Right up the middle. Mason Walters, 16 into Purnell, and then nowhere to go for Austin Taylor. Man. There you go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a race from start to finish. And then before we go off the air, we're going to relive the race and rewind with Tracy Brown. And that's not all. You're going to get the commentary of Ryan and myself talking in reverse. I don't even know how I'd be able to talk in reverse if somebody gets paid to talk for a living in Ford. Trouble. Caution. No yawning. I'm sorry. I just sounded like a parrot just did. If I faked it, I faked it. I command you in the name of Lucifer. Remember that movie, The Little Nicky, when they played Chicago in reverse? What that guy say? Chicago kicks ass. Little Nicky? Oh, come on. Back underway. Adam Sandler, one of his greatest movies ever. And a lot of people were showing the quotes from Ozzy Osbourne, the late Ozzy that passed away, the Prince of Darkness. He was in the movie where he bites the bat, puts him in a flask. By the way, we got cars wrecking off turn 4. I just caught a glimpse of it. They were wrecking into the pit lane entrance, actually, Ryan. And we are under yellow again, heading towards lap 130 to go.
Wow. We've hit double-digit cautions already, so this is looking like a messy race out here.
He said messy. It's a messy race. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, there it is. No, that's the number 9, actually. Was that the 9 and the 16 that got into him? Or the 9. You mean, yeah, the 9. Aiden Millette. Yeah, it looks like the 16, Mason Walters and Aiden Millette got together. The 16 is the 500 of Mason Walters, Tracy. The more you know. The more you know. Yeah. Right. Welcome back. I just said that. Yes. That's why I get so mad because these car numbers don't match what's on race cars, and I'm just like, Argh! I know. Where the hell did 500 come from is beyond me. 500 caution? I don't know. Yeah, there it is though. Like, welcome back. And by the way, we are heading towards lap 100 with 27 to go when they come back to green. Ryan, a typical Langley race. What you think? We've had some exciting moments and we've had some quiet moments and yellow flag moments.
We've had a few green flag runs here. You know, at the beginning of the race, we had something like 25, 30 laps of green flag racing. So, you know, there was clean, great racing at the beginning and throughout the middle of the race. But, you know, it's been broken up by 10 cautions so far.
Yes, getting you ready. When we come back for the restart, it'll be lap 100 around the corner. 26 remaining. Here they come. And the next lap around will be the Golden Racing Time to Dig with 25 to go. Back underway here at Langley. Back straight away. Look at this now. The 20. Wow, hold on. Boy, they were leaning on one another, and Dalton was not backing away. Neither was York. Golden Racing, 25 to go. 100 in here at Langley. It's go time if you're in the back. Mendenhall having a quiet night. Time to dig, indeed. If you're in the back, anybody right now in this pack could be in it to win it right here, Ryan, because they're all been strong cars.
Yeah, all these guys up front, you know, have definitely been strong. You know, the top three at the beginning of the race before the pit stops, the first pit stops, as we got a massive wreck into turn one.
I want to say that's the 51 of Taylor, hard into the outside wall. He crashed hard. There is no caution, though. We still stay green. Unbelievable. Wow. Maybe it was somebody else, but it was a massive hit.
Massive hit there. I mean, it looked like he got off ground and was flying through the air there. That was a massive hit.
It looks like it was the 51 and the 22, but they're still rolling. So they crashed and then they got back going again. Ross Boo Boo Dalton, Ethan Johnson on pit road. We're under yellow. Caution is out. Tracy, let's go back to the 51 and the 22, I think is who they were. Go back about, what was it, Ryan, about 3 laps ago, 5 laps ago?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 laps ago.
Yeah. I want to say right now, the 51, the 22, they are, here we go. No, that's the 32. That's the 32 of Austin Purnell. 50, yeah, the 51 of Austin Taylor and the 22 of Peanut Baker is who I'm referring to. Now, let's rewind. Okay, that's where the caution come out. Ross Dalton and the other car got together. That's what brought out the caution. Let's go back about 5 laps ago. Just keep on right with these guys because you're going to see the 51 and the 22 hard off of the outside wall. And I don't know how in the hell it didn't trigger a caution, Ryan. They must have wrecked and then just kept right back on going again. There it is, right there. Okay, go right there. It's Mullins. My apologies. It's Walters and Mullins, and there it is. And somehow Cliff Mullins and Austin Taylor kept going, and we stayed green. Unbelievable, Ryan.
I mean, how that didn't cause a caution right away is very, very surprising. I thought when they were up in the wall in 1 and 2, I thought a caution was going to come out, but it took them another 4 or 5 laps for the caution to fly.
different strategy now with Ross Dalton now in the back. He's in back outside the top 15. His pace car onto the pit lane, battling for position. He is out of it. Can he race back in? We're going to find out. Closing in on 15 to go here at Langley. Enoch McNeil has impressed me. And we got another great battle heating up here. Possibly Jacob York trying to be the first two-time winner of the year, or Andon Mendenhall. But Jordan Blair, Austin Purnell, Billy Green, even Enoch McNeil, they got a shot to win as we close in off turn 4 with 13 remaining.
We've seen so many different leaders here tonight, so any of these guys up front could definitely take home the win, as we've got another caution.
Well, Triple B Racing, your over-under of 14 cautions is slowly trickling, but there is another yellow flag. How many cautions is that now, Ryan? What is that, 9, 10? Wow, holy hell, big trouble. Got a car upside down, 2 cars upside down. Aiden Millette and the 22 airborne, or the 11 of Brinkley actually upside down.
Yeah,
boy,
multiple.
That was the big one.
Big one here at Langley. Multiple cars flipping there on the back straightaway.
Yes, sir.
To your earlier question, 12 cautions so far.
No, 12? Oh, it's going to be close.
It's got to be close.
Triple B Racing said, wow. Oh, my goodness. Wow, we got to go on board with a car, flip it over. Yeah, the 11 or the 9. Take your pick. There you go. Aiden Millette. Watch this again. On board with Aiden Millette. Put the women and children to bed. Oh! No! Okay. That was a lot of nice view of the grass. Remember, they do have a chance at overtime as well as we close in on 10 to go. But I'll tell you what, Ryan, between Jacob York or Andon Mendenhall, which one do you think could win this race? Oh, by the way, Ross Boo Boo Dalton, though, climbing, he's back to 8th, and he's on the lead lap.
I mean, I feel like, Jacob York, has definitely had a good season, but Mendenhall had a strong first 2 races out there. I believe it was first. He got second the first race, and then first the second race. So both of these guys, the 25 and 15 could definitely be one of your winners tonight.
Back underway. Under 10 to go here at Langley. And what a restart for Jacob York. Mendenhall on the inside. Watch the white 29, Billy Green. He battles now with Jordan Blair. Got a couple of cars getting loose out of turn 4. They were sideways. I think they saved it. We stay green. Almost 3 wide. Austin Purnell battling with Jordan Blair. Billy Green for that spot. And there's contact. Oh, he got him corrected. Green. Billy Green. Purnell. And here comes Ethan Johnson. And he's hard into the outside wall again. And they're crashing off turn 4 also. Austin Purnell just ate some virtual concrete at Langley. Watch the replay. Wow.
Yeah, Billy Green was able to save it there on that initially out of turn 2, and then it just looks like some bad contact there going into 3 and sent Purnell straight hard into the wall.
Another yellow flag out over the speedway. And this one's not done. Wow. And look who they just let get right back in the race again. Ross, Boo Boo Dalton, everybody, back into the top 5. York, Blair, Mendenhall, McNeil, and Dalton. No. No parlay. No parlay. No parlay, Triple B. Landon Brown, LFRL. By the way, Leadfoot Racing League Championship presented by Eastern Technical Design next Sunday. I want to also acknowledge Ross Walton Racing because Myrtle Beach is where they will be racing next week as well. It'll be a Grand Strand Sunday, GSS Sunday. Grand Strand Sunday on iRacing. Elevated TV, CRN next Sunday night. And we got a race to be decided here. How many cautions we got right now, Ryan?
13.
Yeah, he's under. Over. Oh. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, green, white checker. Here they come. Backing away at Langley. 2 to go. Side by side. Look at Dalton up on the outside, getting around Mendenhall. And look at the 6. Jacob York's got the 6 of Jordan Blair, and there's your 14th caution. Boy, Jordan Blair's trying to win one here. He is trying, ain't he? Caution's coming out, though. This thing's not over. We're going to overtime. Now, if he has more than 14, he busts, right? Doesn't that mean he broke out?
I would believe so, yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Brinkley, and the. Yeah, there it is, right there. Is that Mullins? Yes, it's the Mullins car. Oh boy, look at him sticking 3 wide. That's Mason Walters making them stack up behind him. And there you see the end result. Wow. So we get ready for overtime. By the way, we are going to take an extended commercial break after the checkered flag falls because we haven't had no commercials tonight. I don't think we took a commercial any time on the air. Ready to settle it here, though, at Langley, and we will go into overtime as there you see the 6. I'll tell you what, Jordan Blair, he wants to be the 4th different winner in 4 races, but he has got some hungry competition behind him. By the way, they're all winners this year. Jacob York, Boo Boo Dalton, and Andon Mendenhall.
Yeah, they've all been winners, and we can't count out 5th place man McNeil there. He's gone straight to the back, to the front, to the back. So he's definitely had speed in his car, but he's been involved in a bunch of wrecks.
You mentioned Enoch McNeil. How about Austin Taylor? How about Mason Walters? All of these guys have had accidents and been a part of some bad luck tonight. Hell, even Mullins in 37. But now it's ready to decide it. Here, overtime. Here we're ready to do it again. Lights off for the pace car. It has definitely been Hampton Havoc. Landon Brown, Triple B, said 14 cautions. We're at 14 cautions, and now we go to overtime again. Green flag. That is the 6, Jordan Blair, fighting for the spot. He's got them all behind him, and they're coming after him. The dogs are growling. White flag in the air. 1 to go. W Energy, 1 to go. Final time. Diving into 3. Low. Look at that move. Mason Walters hard on the inside of the top 5. Meanwhile, Jordan Blair trying to hold off York. He got a bump. He got a bang. He opens the door. They're wrecking behind him. Jordan Blair, we're 4 for 4. We got 4 winners in 4 races, and Hampton Havoc does not disappoint. They're crashing at the finish. Wow. What a finish. Jordan Blair becomes the 4th different winner of 4 events this year in the Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Stock E-Tour. Watch the finish. Look at this behind them. That's Mullins. That's McNeil. That's Walters. That's Millette. And look at it escalate going down into turn number 1 and 2. Wow.
Wow. Chaos there, even after the flag. They were trying to get another caution even after we got the checkered flag, it seems like.
By the way, Landon Brown, that does not count. So, hey, I don't know how the hell he did it. He better go to Vegas and cash in his ticket. Cash in his ticket. That's what I was going to say. 14 cautions. He called it 14 cautions. Unbelievable. Nonetheless, man, how about this? The 25, right? Jacob York. He gave Jordan Blair a punt. He gave him a shot, but he didn't rough him up. That was an awesome finish right there, Ryan. I mean, he could have turned him. He didn't turn him. He just raced him as competitively and hard as he could. Jordan Blair now makes the 4th different winner of the series here for the season.
York got out of the bumper of Blair there, and he could have sent him off into the wall and wrecked him there, but it was aggressive but very, very respectful. That's a great way to finish this race.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the results real quick tonight for Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Stock E-Tour on Elevated TV and listening on CRN. Jordan Blair from 11th to 1st. He wanted it. He got it. Hold off some hungry guys behind him. Jacob York and Boo Boo Dalton. We'll talk to them here in a minute, the top 3. And in Mendenhall, Mason Walters, your top 5. Billy Green, though, crashing at the end of the big wreck along with Peanut Baker and others, finished in the top 10, 6th and 7th. Bryson Brinkley, 8th. Andy McNeil, 9th. And Austin Taylor, your top 10 at the checker flag there, Ryan.
Yeah, and 11th place is Aaron Stoltz. Aidan Millette finds himself in 12th. Jordan Brinkley finds himself in 13th. Chris Mullins right behind him. Ethan Johnson in 15th. Purnell finds himself in a few wrecks. And Speedy Bird finds himself at 17th. Bradley Wolford finds himself in 18th. And that is your finishing order of tonight's race.
Yeah, RC Slick was race control, by the way. That's what the RC stands for. Race control slick. RC Slick. But nonetheless, 14 cautions. Landon Brown, Triple B Racing, you got it right. So big kudos to you. Where's my hand clap at? Where the hell are you at? Where's my sound effects button? There we go. Yeah.
Yay! Yay! Way to go, Landon.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to grab the podium drivers. This will be fun. Jordan Blair picks up the victory in Hampton Havoc. He becomes the 4th different winner in the return of the Ross Dalton Racing Driver Development Late Model Stock E-Tour. We are back at Langley. Coming up next. Stay with us. Blue Line Soft Wash is a veteran-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing integrity and precision to exterior cleaning. Founded by a retired law enforcement officer, and we proudly back the men in blue. Blue Line Soft Wash upholds the values of service, commitment, and attention to detail in every job. Trust Blue Line Soft Wash to protect and enhance your property with the same dedication they once gave to protecting our community. Protect and serve. Protect your car with Blue Line Soft Wash today. Eastern Technical Design Incorporated provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. These drawings include all the necessary structural, building, plumbing, and mechanical electrical plans as required to produce and deliver a finished building and/or structure. This company is proudly owned by LFRL's Tracy Brown. Eastern Technical Design. Contact them today at 252-245-1599 or email them at easterntechnicaldesign@gmail.com. Commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Eastern Technical Design is the perfect plan for your building needs. Back here at Langley Speedway, checkered flag has fallen at the conclusion of round number 4 of the Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Stock E-Tour. Look at the finish as you're watching it one more time. I mentioned it with Ryan Tomford crashing in the back on the back straightaway, coming off the corner, sideways in the back again. You see Brinkley's car loose, all in the grass. And then York and Blair. Blair had a shot by York on the bottom. The race for the finish. Look at the chaos for the trio spot behind them. And when it's all said and done, Blair is able to hold on and pick up the victory. He's the 4th different winner now. This is, I believe, the white flag lap, actually. This is the finish. Anyhow, Jordan Blair joins us, 4th winner in 4 races. And Jordan, it was not easy. Definitely some snarling, growling, winning dogs behind you. You had to hold off, but you are now a part of the winning pack of 4 for 4. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. You ain't lying about that. It's a pretty intense race there.
I mean, Ryan, anything you want to add to that? I mean, it was pretty wild, that last restart.
Yeah, definitely wild. Just Jordan Blair, you worked yourself up from 11th on the grid. You know, not the greatest qualifying, but you found your way to the front of the field. You know, how was it working through all of the chaos throughout the race?
I just try to make smart lane choices and be smart, not run over anybody. It's kind of easy to do here. Try not to get no EOLs, take tires when you need them, and try to save enough to be there at the end.
Well, but I'll tell you what, Jordan, racing with these guys, I want to say this, and we'll get York's thoughts in a minute. I know he's picked up a win this year also, but, you know, he could have turned you. He could have moved you out of the way, bump and run, got you in the corner. But, I mean, you guys just raced each other competitively. Your take of just that holding off that crazy overtime finish and winning here.
That's the way I like to race, man. I don't want somebody to give me anything. I want to earn it, and but I expect to be able to give it back to them too. And I appreciate him running me clean. Like I said, he could have just flatlined me and took me out there, and that was pretty cool. At least the race to the checkered there on that deal. So, just like I said, really intense race. You just kind of got to lock in and just run your race and not worry about the outcome there.
Well, Jordan, before we let you go, sir, please thank your sponsors, man, on the number 6.
I'd just like to thank Ross and all you guys, man, for what y'all do, putting this still on, and appreciate y'all letting me be a part of it. And hopefully we'll see you next week.
4th different winner, 4th race of the season. The Ross Dalton Racing Late Model Stock E-Tour. That is Jordan Blair. Let's grab now a man who won it earlier in the season last week, 2 weeks ago, matter of fact, at Hickory. He joins us, and this is the driver, Jacob York. Jacob, like I said, man, big kudos to you. There was a lot of intense racing going on up there in the top 10, maybe a little too earlier than intended. It simmered down, then it got sizzled up again. You were right there in the hunt of things. I know you could have moved him and knocked him out of the way if you wanted to, but you didn't do that. And your take of being 2nd place here tonight at Langley.
Overall, man, it was a really good night for us. Had a pretty fast piece, stayed up front, got to race with Boo Boo and Andon all night, which was it's always fun to race with those guys. Pretty clean up front, and truly, I think we had the best car there at the end, and just the restart games kind of got going with the guys wrecking in the back, which allowed Jordan to get the lead off of one of them. And I don't like to run anybody too crazy dirty, and I didn't want to take it from him, so it's not fair to just move somebody out of the way because they had a better night or better lane choice than you did. So good race to him, and congrats to him.
York, you started on the pole tonight. You were dominating up at front. You know, you were there in the most of the night up there at the beginning of the night, but on lap 76, you pitted and you fell sort of farther back in the field, 10th, 11th place, and then you picked off everyone. You know, what was it like going, sort of working your way through all of the chaos and navigating some of these bigger wrecks that we had tonight?
Well, at this point, we've raced 4 weeks together, and you can kind of tell who's who and who's going to race hard and smart and who's going to race hard and not so smart. And so you got to just pick your battles and pass them one by one and not put yourself in any kind of dangerous spot and knock the nose off of it and be there at the end.
Well, Jacob, hey, listen, I want you to thank your sponsors in closing, sir, but what does it mean to be a part of the four-time winners club right now? 4 different winners in 4 races with this series.
Man, we got a really good group that I think once we get some of the bugs worked out of it, we'll all be able to race and have several different winners. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and running it out for this championship. But I can't thank my guys enough. The Holston River Machine Shop, Nansag and Lime, and Ross and you guys for putting this deal on. I really appreciate it. It's a privilege to get to come do this every weekend.
There's the thoughts of the driver, Jacob York. He'll finish in the number 2 spot. And speaking of Ross Boo Boo Dalton, the man that created this series, the RDR Esports Tour, and Ross Dalton Racing Driver Development, when it's all said and done, his car will come back after a late race mishap on a incident, finishes 3rd. Ross, typical Langley. I know we were chatting about that during the break. I know there was a little bit of frustrations there, but man, all in all, what a comeback, obviously, after getting involved in a late race accident and being able to finish 3rd. And obviously, you know, you heard what Jordan Blair said. It was awesome to be able to race amongst you and Mendenhall and York and being amongst the winners of the season so far. Obviously, it was competitive, definitely tonight.
Yeah, it was hard fought. There was a good handful of guys that stayed up front just about all night long that we fought for track position just about all night long. So all in all, man, I hate that the back half couldn't get it sorted out and struggled a little bit. But for the most part, everybody pretty much put on a really good show and worked really hard to make sure that they was following orders and doing what they was told. Nothing makes me madder than watching cars tear each other up after the race just because they're mad at each other. So got a pretty thick penalty report coming out, and they're going to figure out that they're going to straighten it up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I didn't have time to go back and edit it, and they unfortunately had fast repairs last week. They didn't. Racing was a lot cleaner last week, and they had fast repairs this week, and they don't know how to act when they got fast repairs. They just want to act crazy as crap and not use their head and race with authority. They just race off the hood pins instead of looking ahead. So I'm aggravated. I'm really aggravated. Not aggravated with my run. I'm just aggravated with my guys because I know that they can produce better racing than what they did tonight. But all in all, my race was really solid. Was able to make a comeback there late. You know, I pinched Jordan pretty hard getting in the corner there, and he got into me, and I tried to save it. I just couldn't save it, and it come on around on me and got sent to the rear there. So we fought our way back up and stay close to that 25 car. We're fighting him for points right now, so try our best to capitalize on every position we can and see if we can't get him here in the next couple weeks.
Ross, you and Mendenhall are the only drivers so far this season to, you know, throughout all these races. Stay in the top 5. When the races are done, you've got to win 5th and 3rd. You think you can keep that consistency up for the rest of the season?
Sure hope so. That's what I've been fighting for. That's what I, told the guy that I was in Discord with. Once I got spun, I just needed to get back as close to the 25 as I possibly could, so I could get a band-aid on the bleeding and stop it as fast as I could. Because if I couldn't get within a certain reach, that he was going to pull away pretty good in points. So he still did, but it ain't going to be by as much. So luckily, was able to get back up there and fight for a solid top 3 finish and have something to show for here at the end of the night.
Ross Dalton joining us, obviously winner of the first race of the season at Kern County, and he's been consistent, if you will, and I think that points lead will still try to stay intact. It's just going to be a really fun battle heading to Myrtle Beach next week. But, Ross, I got to ask you a personal question, though, bud. Obviously, we lost a driver, a competitor, a friend of all, whether announcing races, racing with him. Is there a memory you have of that Robbie Brewer, or a story that you'll always carry with him in memory of his passing last night?
Absolutely. I started racing in 2009, run Sportsman at Caraway, and Robbie was a hard-nosed competitor, and he was there the first night that I raced, and I remember that black and green number 68. He was the one that I had to chase. He was the one that we had to outrun, and from that moment forward until last night, Bowman Gray, he was always one you had to chase. He was a hard competitor. He was a good guy. There's been many a time he'd been standing beside that motorhome of his, and he'd be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and everything else, and him and Red and all them boys on the pit crew, they'd be talking and having fun and everything else. You never seen them guys down, man. They could have qualified or ran dead last, but at the end of the night, they was just happy to be at a racetrack and always joyful people to be around. And Robbie was a really, really, really good guy. I mean, just stand out, class act. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better competitor, better friend. I'm not as tight as, there's a lot of people that's probably tighter with him than I am, but he was somebody that I considered a friend, and if he ever needed anything, I'd have helped him in any way possible. And we definitely lost him way too soon. But just like me and Dylan Ward, we've had our differences in our lifetime of racing. And last night I was actually at Bowman Gray, standing in the stands, spotted for Peanut Baker, and was up there watching Riley Neal, and I witnessed it all happen. And I went down and talked to Dylan Ward after the race, and me and Dylan both said, Robbie Brewer, being who Robbie Brewer is, he was much happier to go sitting in the cockpit of that race car than he would have been sitting on his couch. So everybody that's sad and their heart's heavy,
Yeah.
it's always a positive thing to know that, he was doing what he loved and what he was supposed to be doing the day that he lost his life. So,
And can I interject on that? Because I've seen the positive of remembrance of Robbie, but I've also seen the negativeness of people trying to turn the story into making people say, oh, well, if he wouldn't have been in a race car, if this wouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. You're a race car driver, Ross. I mean, Enoch McNeil is, the Brinkleys are. And I said that earlier when we done our remembrance for him. But like you said, if you were going to go out in a race car, you know the dangers, you know the risks every time you get in the car. Hell, I know the risks that I take walking down pit road, working on my announcer notes. I could get hit by a car, a fire could happen, anything freak can happen, but it's because we have a love and a passion for being a part of the sport and doing what we do.
we
For
raced
sure.
at Kingsport. We went to Kingsport this past weekend, and my dad went with me. Since I've done my driver development program, he hasn't been going to the racetracks as much. But when I get the opportunity to race, which is far and few
Right, right,
between,
right.
my mom and dad always try to go with me. And I was lucky enough to have him in the car with me and Enoch and another family member, Brandon. And we was riding up the road, and we all got to talking about it, and this is Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon coming home, and or Thursday afternoon going up and Saturday afternoon coming home, and we was talking about how there's drug addicts, there's gamblers, there's everything, and as a racer, you're all of them. You go a couple days without racing, you can't stop thinking about racing. That's all you want to do. That's the next thing you want to do. That's where you want to be, the whole 9 yards, and you can't wait to get there. And once you get there, you just feel relieved. And when you strap in that race car, it's a gamble. It's a 50-50 chance. You don't know if you're going to climb back out of that thing. You don't know if you take the checkered flag. You don't know when the next one's going to be, if there's going to be a next checkered flag. So it's a 50-50 gamble, and it's a gamble that every single one of us racers is forever going to be willing to take. And it's just part of our life. And I know as a racer that when Robbie Brewer climbed in that race car, he didn't think that. He had no he knew that, but he didn't think that it was going to be his time to go, and he knew
That's the risk y'all take, though.
and he knew that that was the risk,
Yeah.
and he's happy. He's going to find that Golden Street racetracks up there with Rodney Cook and all the many others that's up there.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
racing in a much better place than we are. So
Yeah.
he's
For
done
sure.
found that he's done found that racetrack. So it's all good and everything's going to work out, and we're going to do a memorial race for him, and I hope that his family can heal very fast and know that Robbie passed right where he wanted to pass at.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to stay long on the subject for sure, but obviously, I remember first time meeting Robbie Brewer at the when I was announcing for the NASCAR Willen Modified Tour, and you talked about the fact that they didn't have the money or the package, the backing, like a Myers or like a Kyle Bonsinger or Justin Bonsinger or at the time Woody Pitcat or Hillbilly Racing and Chris Fleming and just some of the big names of racing. Andy Jankowiak comes to mind. George Bronhosel. Not the Bowman Gray George Bronhosel that struggled with hillbilly racing, but when he was driving with NASCAR and with Andy Seiss and done well. I mean, but Robbie was always in the back, or his car would be off, handling would be off. He'd get caught up in accidents, and I always remember though, Ross being in the pits, and like you said, he might have got caught up in an accident, he might have blew an engine, but he's partying with the family and with his daughter. His daughter raced at Bowman Gray as well. She raced a time or two at Ace when I met her, and just full of life. Take the good with the bad. We all have our bad days, but the good days are going to be better. I always remember him telling me that. I used to always jokingly, say, well, back in the day, wow, you're having a lot of bad luck here. You're having bad luck. But he used to say, Wesley, you know what? The good days are always going to be better than the bad. And we're just kind of in a slump right now. And, super great guy for sure. I know he's not a big name to a lot of people, obviously, but for the people that knew him, Ross, in closing, he was definitely a good person. And like you said, live life to your fullest, because we never know when it's our time to leave this world. We don't know that. We don't.
Nope,
We don't.
absolutely not. You're not. You live for today because you're not promised tomorrow, and as a proven fact.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, for sure.
unfortunate that we've lost one of our best friends and a solid racer, but like I said, he's in a much better place, and life will never forget Robbie Brewer.
Well, we got plans to have a big tribute race, a memorial race for him, to talk about the life. Maybe we can get some people with quotes and comments. Maybe have some special stories and do a big race and raise money. I think is what our plan is. Ross and he'll give us all the details on that very, very soon. But Ross on the Myrtle Beach next week. But before we do let you go, buddy, please thank your sponsors on the 50-star third place here tonight at Langley.
Absolutely, man. I can't thank all my guys, real life RDR. We went to Kingsport for the last 2 weekends, had 2 really solid weekends, and won both
A fun
times.
track, ain't it? The
It
concrete
is.
jungle.
It is. we've had really good runs up there, and they've worked their butts off to turn our program around in real life, and we're making headway and got Mason Walters going this weekend in Orange County. So hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling and go get us another win
There you go.
in real life. And got to thank Michael Steele, Iracing and real life, wrap designs for all that he does, roof signs for printing all of them, making sure that everything looks as good as it possibly can. J. Dalton Autotech, Carolina Laser Cutting, um, Clark's Automotive, everybody that's part of it, man. All my guys that stand by me in RDR and make virtual racing and real life racing fun, and we'll continue to make it better.
Ross, I got to ask you this because I people say this to me all the time. When you coming back to Wake County? When you're bringing your cars to Wake County? Maybe it might be the better word, right? Because
it's gonna be soon. I'm working on trying to put something together. I really think that what we've hit on and stuff like that, I think that we can go there and have some solid success. So we're going to I'm gonna work on putting something together. I love going to Wake County. We've been the last last couple years and ran very well. So I think I'd like to go back and try it.
there you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ross Dalton, the man behind the RDR Esports Series, and of course, a solid third place here tonight at Langley. Myrtle Beach next week. Ryan, we're going to get off the air, buddy. Obviously, as we said, Godspeed in the memory of Mr. Robbie Brewer. We'll dedicate this race tonight, obviously, for him, but we are working on a Robbie Brewer memorial coming soon. Ross will give us all the details on that. Hopefully, we can broadcast it on the elevated TV. But Ryan, your final take it tonight here at Langley and Triple B Racing, Landon Brown, he did call it 14 cautions in the night, and that's exactly what we ended up with. But I still thought it was an entertaining race for sure.
Yeah, I mean we had the 14 cautions, tons of wrecks, but still, it was, as you said, it was very enjoyable. It didn't seem like we had a lot of cautions, but there was tons of action and passing and whatnot, and still a very, intriguing race for the fans to watch at home.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, remember next Sunday it is a Grand Strand virtual Sunday. You want to check us out for the Leadfoot Racing League Championship Season 3 finale. That'll be, of course, at Myrtle Beach. And right as soon as the checkered flag falls at 8 p.m. Eastern and 10 o'clock, we'll come back with the Ross Dalton Racing round number 5. Yes, sir. Heading to the midway point of the season. And it will be Myrtle Beach, New Smyrna, Southern National. The next 3 races on deck for the Ross Dalton Racing Esports Late Model Tour. If you'd like to get signed up, check them out on Discord. Reach out to them on Facebook. And, of course, I know on behalf of Ross Dalton, Mr. Tracy Brown, Cody Deemers, and everybody at Elevated TV, we thank you for joining us. For Ryan Tomford, I am Wesley Outland. Congratulations to Jordan Blair, 4th different winner on the series in 4 races. Round 5 next week, Myrtle Beach. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. God bless you all, and we'll see you then. Take care.